So one thing that's unique about a French seam is that we've pinned our fabric together with the wrong sides together. So a Georgette and a chiffon doesn't have a face or a right side, so you can put any side together and you don't have to worry about that, but other fabrics do, and you have to watch out for that because French seam starts off with the wrong sides together. Step one in making a French seam is to sew the seam. After you've pinned it and you've watched the previous video, you're going to sew the seam and then you're going to cut close to that stitch line. So you want to be about 4 millimeters away or 1/8 of an inch away and press it. You want to really make sure it's nice and smooth and flat. The next step is to press that seam open. So we've turned it to the back side with the seam allowances face up, and you just kind of get it started with your iron, the point of your iron, and press that seam open. Once you've started it, it usually goes pretty easily to get that seam pressed open. Sometimes you have to get your finger in there again to get it close. But you don't want to get that finger too close. You got to watch out and make sure you have your steam turned off for this. Because if you have your steam turned on, you get your fingers close, that is going to hurt. So you're going to press that whole seam open. So now we've flipped the seam, so it's the clean edge towards the side we're going to iron now. And we have the right sides of the fabric on this side, the wrong sides here. We're going to press that seam, which we just pressed open. We're going to press it along the seam. And you really want to get that seam right on the crease, just like that. So the next step is to sew a stitch. And so we have here, now we've folded it so that the right sides are together. So these are the right sides, and we've sewn a stitch along that fold line that we just had. And this should be outside of that seam allowance that was inside there. We don't want that seam allowance to be showing on this side, so we need to make it wide enough so it clears that. And then the next step is to press it again. So we really press a lot while we're doing a French seam. So we press it flat, and then we can press it to one side. And some people prefer to do the back side first, pressing. That's definitely an option too. I like to do it this side because then I can really fold it over with that iron and get a nice clean seam. Okay, and that's a French seam.